Good evening, friends. Good evening, everybody. As you're jumping on this call, welcome. As you're jumping on the call, we're going to get started shortly. Please do me a massive favor and just click on the little Q&A button or the little button where you can type, and let us know where you're dialing in from, and let us know what city or what country you're dialing in from. And while you're jumping on the call, just want to quickly say a very happy Easter weekend for those who celebrate Easter. Very happy Easter weekend to you. We've got Pitts, if I've got that right, from the UK. Welcome to the call this evening, all the way from United Kingdom. We have Johannesburg. Letitia is on the call from Johannesburg. Welcome, Johannesburg. Nice to have you on the call. Happy Easter weekend for everybody. Super excited. We've got Midrand, we've got Kampala in the house, we've got Texas in the house. Wow, we have California in the house. This is really exciting this evening. Good evening, everybody. Once again, good evening and a very happy Easter weekend to every single one of you. My name is Chris Leclerc. As you're jumping on this call, give us a shout out. I see people are joining us from the UK, from Uganda, from Johannesburg, from Pretoria, from Durban. And the call, people are still jumping on the call. So welcome, everyone. It is super exciting. It's my honor, it's my privilege, and my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker who will be joining us and starting the call within, what's the time now? At least 30 to 35 seconds. He's just logged onto the call as we speak. We still have people chiming in as we speak. Zimbabwe is on the house. Welcome, Zimbabwe. Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to tonight's call. We've got people joining us from all over the globe. This is very exciting. And this is an opportunity and something that your friend is incredibly excited about. Something that I personally saw a few weeks ago and just completely and utterly blew my socks off. We've still got people joining the call. Portugal's in the house, Mozambique's in the house, the USA is in the house, South Africa's in the house, Kampala's in the house. Very exciting. So the time is right for us to get started, and it leaves me no other choice but to say a very happy Easter weekend to every single one of you. Thank you for taking the time to be on this call tonight. I have the privilege and the honor of introducing you to my very good friend and coach and mentor in business, a gentleman from the USA who's incredibly successful over the last couple of years, building multiple businesses, and just an all-around awesome dude, and a great honor to have him on a call with us this evening. Byron Schrog, all the way from the USA. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you just great, Chris. How are you? I'm
absolutely fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are honored, we are excited, and can't wait to hear what you have to share with the masses. Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm excited to be on here. Was trying to move a couple people over, and my system doesn't seem to be working exactly the way I want it to. But anyways, we will move through this process. So first of all, welcome everyone. And Chris is right. Hope you have great plans for Easter that's coming up very quickly, and remember what that celebration is really all about. My name is Byron Schrog. I live in Kansas in the middle of the United States. I've had the good fortune of coming to Africa many different times, and had the opportunity to work with many amazing business people there. And we are in the process of launching some very exciting things, and we're going to talk about those. But I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about kind of where the world is at, and why I think what we're getting ready to talk about, the timing is really good. You know, over the last several years, all of us have experienced all kinds of challenging things that, you know, have caused all kinds of loss. You know, whether it's loss of jobs, businesses, friends, whatever it might be, relatives, family members, all kinds of crazy things have happened over the last few years. And I feel like across our globe, there's this feeling of like almost like a fog. It's like hanging over everyone, and they just like to, you know, have the sunshine come out. And we're just, you know, I think these are real problems, and people are experiencing these things. I have lots of friends of mine like that as we have conversations and they talk about this. But one thing I learned as an entrepreneur, if you have solutions to these things, then all of a sudden what takes place and happens is it creates opportunity. And that's what we're going to talk about here over the next 15 minutes or so. And then you're going to hear from a few different people that I'm going to bring on. But in order to do that properly, I'm going to share some slides here, and we'll see once if everything works effectively. You know, this is kind of what I was just talking about is, you know, our world is seeing all kinds of real pain. Where I live here in the United States, inflation is running rampant. Interest rates have, you know, more than doubled. The fuel prices are out of sight. In fact, in the fuel space right now, we've just seen that OPEC decided they were going to cut oil 1 million barrels a day, which is going to move the fuel price up a considerable amount, maybe as much as $1 a gallon here in the US. It might be more than that. Globally, we're going to see the same kind of thing on increases on fuel. The grocery prices are just, they're skyrocketing. Price of eggs here in the United States went from like, you know, $1 a dozen to $8 a dozen. And so we see all these things that are causing issues and problems. And people, I think, are focused all on the problems, are not focused on the solutions, because quite honestly, the solutions don't look very good. You know, solutions, if you're going to make more money, are because you're not going to change the price of gas or price of petrol. It's not going to happen. You're not going to change the price of eggs. You're not going to change anything there. But what you can do is change your attitude about it, and you can look for where does the opportunity lie. And in there lies the solutions. The solutions is that people are looking for other ways to create revenue. How can they make up the money that they're spending now? And if we have something like that, it becomes significant. Also, is there a solution where they could save money on certain products that they're buying now, where they would pay less, that maybe there's some options? So these are the things that we're going to spend time talking about. And what I really believe is, and there's people that are on here right now, they're seeing life can be fun again, because I think what's happened is fun has been taken completely away from us for the most part, because it's about survival. It's not about fun. And, you know, 5 years ago, there were some fun components of life, but right now there's a lot of people that are struggling in a really major way. And if we could solve that problem and you could create fun again in their life, what do you think the opportunity would be if fun could happen again? So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about a company called MPGXtreme. MPG stands for Marketplace Global. And, you know, the first thing I want to tell you is the ideas that you're looking at and you're viewing are something that in March 3rd, all right, a month ago, basically, we turned on this opportunity, these products, and this idea in South Africa. And South Africa was, quite honestly, the first country that we really opened up. We opened our business model up in August 1st, and we opened it up in US and Canada. And then now in March, we expanded into South Africa. We also now have, since that time, we opened up Mexico, and now the Philippines, as of about 48 hours ago, has been turned on. And in addition to that, we will see the some of the countries in the EU will open, all of the EU and the UK and the European markets, Australia. These are all things that are about to take place and happen. And so our company is growing very, very quickly. We have a very, very compelling idea, but I want you to catch here at the beginning. All right, you're hearing about information that the world does not know about. All right. Not only the world, but also Africa, because we just have launched this. So how can we talk about some things? I want to just tell you a little story of how this all started. We have a product that we lead in some marketplace with, and this is what was led to me to basically open the door. Now, we're going to talk about some other products that might open other marketplaces up, because it is called Marketplace Global, and we have things to choose from. But this is how my phone call happened to me, you know, this last June. Is I had a friend of mine that called me on the phone and said, asked me if I was open to any ideas. And, you know, I live out in the country. I have a ranch in the middle of Kansas. I also do ministry related things. I have been an entrepreneur, so I always have lots of things going. So my friend called me and said, are you open to listening to something that's about to happen? I said, sure, tell me what's going on. He said, well, I want to ask you some questions first. I said, okay, fire away. He said, first of all, I need to tell you they're not trick questions. So the first thing he asked me, he said, you know, he used the word gas, but I'm going to use petro here because that's what you guys talk about here that are listening in, because this is a Zoom specifically for South Africa, and we have a lot of other countries around in the Africa continent listening in, as well as in Europe. He said, who do you know that uses petrol or diesel? And I said, everybody? He says, yep, that's exactly right. He said, of those everybody's, how many of them you think want to save some money? I said, all of them? He said, do you think they just want to save money or make money or both? And I said, well, based on present economic times, many of them probably would say both. He said, well, you're exactly right. I said, well, tell me what you're talking about, because I'd like to understand what you mean on these questions. He said, well, we're going to launch a company, and one of the main products we're going to launch with is a product that's called the MPGX caps. And this is a tablet that goes in your fuel tank. So when we launch South Africa, this is a product that we have, you know, an office in Johannesburg. We have shipping in Johannesburg. All this product is made inside the United States. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And I'm also going to talk about some other products that are available that some of you are going to get very excited about. But we have to understand that this particular product, when he's talking to me, I'm thinking everybody that has a vehicle probably could use this if this really works. And he explained to me it was a catalyst. It's a catalyst that burns the fuel more completely in the engine compartment or the engine chamber. And so because about 30% of your fuel actually goes out your tailpipe, it goes into what's called a catalytic converter. That catalytic converter burns the excess up so it doesn't go in the atmosphere. So the first thing that, if it burns all this up, I recognize that, okay, it's going to be less pollution that's going out. In fact, studies show, because this product has been around for 35 years, the product shows that it lowers emissions by 40%. Now, I know some of you, I just said something and you're going, okay, I have a question. It's been around 35 years. How come we don't know about it? Well, it's a really great question, because the company that has manufactured this product, the company that had the worldwide marketing rights to it, they launched the marketing rights that they had in 2005. And in about 2008, the price of fuel went from about $2.50 a gallon to $1 a gallon, and it became less obvious that this would be something that would be effective in the marketplace, and they started to shift their product line. They took this product and put it on the shelf. And that company went on to hold the worldwide marketing rights until about 1.5 years ago, when my friends actually acquired it. Now, the timing of the price of fuel is pretty crazy. Obviously, you know, it's close to $4 a gallon is what we'd call it here in the US. Globally, it's much higher in many other places. But there's a real need for a product that would save you money, because if it burns more of the fuel, you'll see on the list here, it improves fuel economy. This is the #1 thing here that people have an interest in, is how could I save money on the fuel? I have to spend that money. Well, we have to understand, you are going to buy fuel no matter what, more than likely, if you're listening on here. And if you could pay less, this is a product that saves you money. If you're not using it, it costs you more. Okay? It increases the octane so you can burn a lower grade of fuel inside your car. You know, I've already said it reduces emissions, adds power. This is an absolute home run in the marketplace. And this caplet's about as big as the end of your finger. You put it in your fuel tank by putting it in the nozzle of the fuel spout. You push it into your tank, you pull the trigger, it pushes it down in there. One pill treats about 45 liters approximately, all right? Just to give you a little idea of what we're talking about here. We also have, actually 75 liters, sorry. We actually have a product that is the same product, but it's ground up in a vial, if you will. Looks kind of like this. I'm not sure if you can see but it's got a little flip top, all right? That flip top, you just dump that in. This is for the semis and the big rigs, if you will. It treats about 450 liters, 500 liters at a time. Same product, just in a different form of distribution, if you will. That's also available. And yes, it is EPA registered. Why is this important? The EPA in the United States has very high restrictions, all right, on how a product can be made. Also, products like this, ours especially, does not affect any kind of warranties of any kind. In fact, it also has, for the life of the product, for the last 35 years, it has $1 million policy, liability policy, that if this is used on a car, that it won't affect anything inside the vehicle. In fact, there's never been a claim that's ever filed against it, because the fuel is simply a catalyst. It just makes the fuel burn more efficiently inside the combustion chamber. So very exciting, a need product that will save you money. But the fuel industry is a $5 trillion marketplace globally. I want to talk about another product that we're going to just talk about briefly, which is the travel industry, which is where I came from actually for many, many years. And this is a $6 trillion marketplace. And we're expanding these two products all around the world. We also have another product that's a coffee product. This is being introduced in certain markets around the world. But the fuel product and the coffee product are being expanded around the globe in a major way. And you say, well, what am I talking about? We call it our Extreme Travel AI product. First of all, I just need to tell you, this is something that does not exist any other place on the planet. And we use the power of AI, all right? And I want you to understand how it works. And I'm not going to get into great detail on this. Your friend can get you a video where you can see more details on this. But in the travel space, this product is very different because it has access to components in the travel industry that you and I, as a consumer, have never had access to, ever. All right. The first two things I'm going to click up here are things that you would have access to, but there are some very interesting differences. The first thing I would tell you here is we have suppliers in the airspace, over 1,000 different airlines that we have access to, 2.6 million hotels, but these are direct connects. What do I mean by that? You can go online and you can book on Expedia, let's say, and book a United Air ticket. But if you have a problem on United, what happens is now you have to go through Expedia to solve the problem, which could be a challenge. When I book on here, I book directly with United, so I can call United directly on my air-related stuff. And something that we have access to here that you're going to really flip out on. I was told for years in the travel industry, there's no deals on airfare. That is true unless you have access to our platform, and then you have deals on airfare. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. All right. Second thing, you have access to all the online travel agencies. All the online agencies have their data inside this platform. Okay, Booking.com, Expedia, the Expedia Group, Priceline, Hotels.com. I could name a long list of companies that you would recognize, all right? And what takes place and happens is we have this in place, all right? Very exciting. In fact, we have things that if you go to Priceline in our platform that you can't even find in Priceline if you went directly to Priceline, because they have things that are available specifically to this platform. Now, when I get to these next little boxes I'm going to pull up on the screen, I'm going to pull up names you've never heard of. And the reason you've never heard of them, because you've never had access to them, because the public doesn't get access to them. All right. These are airline and hotel consolidators. All right. These are things that buy in huge quantity in those spaces, and then they offer them back mainly in the corporate travel space. Well, congratulations. If you have access to our Extreme Travel AI platform, you now have access to these names that you've never heard of that other people can't access. In addition to that, there's all kinds of private rates and offline agents that are online. Once again, names you're not familiar with or never heard of, because these are corporate negotiated fares and rates and programs that are not available to the public, but are available through our Extreme Travel AI program. And then last of all, something else you've never had access to, which is the GDSs, the global distribution systems that a travel agent would use to book travel for you, where they can earn commissions. Well, those commissions are taken out, and now you have access directly to these. Yes, this is very, very powerful with a complete marketplace, all customer service. Also, it's a patented situation, a patented marketplace that doesn't exist anywhere else. And the deals in here are absolutely astounding. I just pulled up something here. This was on hotels.com. If you can see what we're talking about here, just give me a second here where I can. Whoops, let's back up one. Let's see here. There we go. Hit the wrong button. All right, on hotels.com, you can see the price was $917, same exact dates. If you go over here to Cape Town on the same exact dates at this same property, it was $416. You can see that's a significant savings. You could go ahead and pay over here if you want, but look at what we got access to. Here's another property in Nairobi, $510 when we searched it, $136 a night. Here it's $109 a night. All right, these are deals that are in there all day long, every day. I've got lots of other ones we could show. I probably won't go through that. Here's a resort that's in Mexico, $3,300 total. Same property, $1,994. All right, same night, same room, same everything. Here's a trip to Aruba. You can see 297 total for the days that we picked, 506 a night, 318 a night on our platform, 1869. I could go on and on with this. I'm not going to do that. I want to just, get to the point where some of you want to know, can I earn money with this? Because we're going to hear from some people here in just a second. There are a bunch of different ways to earn money through our platform, whether we're talking about our retail customer bonuses, because obviously the travel product has a retail version to it. So you can subscribe to it, and your customers can subscribe at $49 a month. You actually get it at $39 a month. So there's a $10 margin that would come back to you, to anybody that would subscribe that doesn't want to pay the setup fees, which are $199. If you want to sell the caps, you can sell those caps. You buy them at basically at $10 US and sell them at $20. You'll see that here. It's a little bit different with the Rand. There's team commissions, all kinds of other things. And, I don't want to get into great detail here, because I think most of the time it'll just confuse you. The second thing is, you're just thinking, if I could make an extra $500-700 a month, it would be amazing, or $1,000 a month. Well, some of our early ranks, which you're going to hear from some people that have passed these ranks or hit these ranks early on, up to, 500 a week, 700 a week. There's a lot of money available. We can get you those details on what they are. So how do you plug in and become an ISR? ISR costs $29 a month, $29 one time to get your back office. We have a promotion though for $1 through the end of April. You can become an ISR. And then what you would do is you could buy an enrollment pack. There's lots of different enrollment packs. All right. The enrollment pack I'm showing you here is basically about $150. You get 11 of these 5-tank trials. If you want the enrollment pack for the travel, which many people are choosing that, it's $199 to do that. The person that got you on here, they can direct you and answer your questions in the best way. So let's do this. I want to bring a couple people on here, want to stop the share and have them talk to you. Maybe what we can do, Chris, maybe you could come back on here and just talk about what's taken place and happened for you, why you're excited about this and what's happened. And then we got a few other people we'll bring on here in just a second.
Perfect, Byron. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the great presentation. Good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Chris Leclerc from Durban. I'm currently in the trucking space, Scania, Volvo, Mercedes, all your big trucks. And been in the game now for the last year and a half. And when Byron showed me this about 6 to 8 weeks ago, I was a little bit skeptic, to say the least, because we have stuff on the shelf, but he told me that there's never been anything like this. And once I got my hands on some of the product and used it, I was absolutely and completely blown away. I drive a Isuzu Bucky. It's a 2023 model. It's a brand new vehicle. It has 15,000 on the clock when I started using the product. I'm now on I think it's my 8th tablet, if you like. And immediately, as I say, I started seeing a result straight away. One, I felt a little bit more power. The engine seemed to run smoother. It's a 70-liter tank, and one would expect somewhere around 700 kilometers, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on whether I'm carrying a load, and maybe it's town driving or distance driving. But straight away off the bat, I saw 850 odd Ks, then another 860 Ks, then another 850 something Ks, and it kept on seeing this. And after my fifth tank, I realized something. I was getting over 850 Ks, but when I was filling up, I still had it between 100 and 120 in the tank, which meant I was getting over 900 odd Ks, where I would typically get around 700, which is about 200, even 250 kilometers more out of one tank. I got so excited about it that I've been sharing it with some friends, sharing it with some families, sharing with some work colleagues, and now I've grown a team of a couple of hundred people, and I can't stop this thing. So I just want to say thank you to MPG and thank you to Byron. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you very much. And, you know, the product is working and you've got a tremendous team that's already rolling. I want to bring my buddy Terry on here if I can. We're having trouble getting him unmuted, but I think his audio will work. And he's going to introduce somebody that is really having some success as well, that just got started. But Terry, can you might not be able to turn your video on, but let's see if you can unmute. I'd like people to hear your story.
Can you hear me, Byron?
I can hear you. I don't know if it'll allow you to unmute, but go ahead and just we'll do it on audio only.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I got a good face for radio. It all works out. Hey, everybody. Thanks for letting me share for just a minute, Byron. Guys, Byron called me early on, and I said yes because I knew him. I knew the potential. And if he saw something that I hadn't yet seen, I wanted not to miss it if, in fact, I saw it later on, which did happen. And so I used the pills, and we've talked about the X caps, and I put them in my car. I got for me, just the way it worked out for me, it was a 33% increase in our fuel economy after pill number 5. My wife's vehicle went up 25%. It's been awesome. I mean, really awesome, and particularly with the price of fuel. I also, we've used the booking engine. We're heading down to Mexico next week. We saved a bunch of money on that trip. I got people on part of our team that are using the booking engine that Byron referred to. And one guy, 2 trips. So we're going to LA and then to Maui. They've saved $1,500. That's between airfare, car rental, and hotels. The platform is awesome. I absolutely love it. And as it turns out, I reached out to a gentleman. I reached out to a bunch of people here in the US, but then I reached out to a gentleman that I knew back from our days in a previous business who had a lot of success. His name was Martin Andijo. You guys might have seen that he hit Ruby earlier this week, and he's just he came in with just a man on fire, and he's got some other people that are seeing it as well. And so there's growth happening all over Africa and even in people he knows in Europe and things like this. And so we're really excited. One gal I would love for you guys to hear from today. Her name is Marvelous Ford, and what an awesome name. And I want you guys to hear her story. She just hit platinum about an hour ago, been in 1 week, and she's just out sharing this with everybody. So Byron, if we could get Marvelous on and have her unmute and share her story, you guys are going to be blown away by this woman's story. She's awesome.
Yeah, I think Marvelous is on. If you could unmute your video, Marvelous, that'd be great. There we go. Had it for a second. Awesome.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations. Congratulations on platinum. That is absolutely amazing. I know you've only been in for a few days, but why don't you share your story? And you have some unique challenges that I think will encourage some other people.
Thank you, Byron. I appreciate that, Terry. Thank you so much. My name is Marvelous Ford. I live in the UK. I'm an entrepreneur. I run a healthcare company in the UK. But in 2014, I was diagnosed with kidney failure. It's total failure. Started dialysis in 1 year, 8 months. I go to hospital every other day. So if I'm not at the hospital, I'm in my business at the office. And when I'm on the hospital bed, I do, right now, I'm networking, I'm calling everybody, presenting. So this week, I signed up this week, and I don't waste time. While I'm sitting on the hospital bed, I am showing this concept. It's amazing. People are loving it. I'm not letting hidden failure pull me down. So I'm going to say, if you're out there, you can make money while you are sick. You can make money while you're on the bed. Anything can happen. So I really want to thank you guys for this beautiful, beautiful opportunity.
Marvelous. Thank you very much. And congratulations. You're living up to your name. That is for sure. So, wow. So, you know, here's what I hope you guys caught from that. You know, we have a lot of people right now, what I started with, that are in our world that they're just letting the world beat them up. But here we have somebody like Marvelous that decided to take her life back. She decided that even though, you know, she's got to go through all these challenges, and it is what it is. She's got to go through dialysis. She's going to take that time, and instead of, you know, sitting in a hospital bed wishing something could be different, she's decided to make something different and use that particular time and use her contacts and her talents and her skills to advance her life and encourage some other people. And so, Marvelous, you're a tremendous encouragement to a lot of people on here. I would just tell you, if you're on here and you're listening, all right, if you want it to be fun again, you'll have to make a choice for it to be fun again. You'll have to choose. See, life's all about choices, and we have something here that's very significant. And many of you have all kinds of problems and challenges that are going to keep you from taking your life back, or let's just say the evil one would like to keep you from taking your life back. And I want to encourage you to get back with the person that put you on here and say, you know what, I'm ready to take my life back. I'm ready to jump on board. I'm ready to be part of something where it could be fun again. And I believe that's what we have. If you're on here today and you're saying, hey, I'm not sure, just be a customer. Choose, you know, if you travel at all, jump on board just as a customer. If you drive at all, use any fuel, just be a customer. You can just try and just be a customer. But if you're that person that on a scale of 1 to 10, you're thinking, you know what, I'm at least a 7, 8, 9, or 10 on wanting something different in my life. I want to take my life back. Then I would say, why don't you figure out how to join us as a rep, as an ISR, an independent sales rep. Help us take this to the masses around the world and make a difference for some other people. So thanks for being on. We do this every Tuesday and every Thursday. We appreciate all of you being on. God bless. Congratulations to all of you who have made something happen in your life and you're taking back your life already. So congratulations, Marvelous. Thanks for being on here. God bless.